guys and girls, and welcome back to a brand new video today. For today's video is another video for myself doing this for League 2. This is League 2 teams that did get relegated from League 1 from last season, going into this coming season for League 2 for this year, for 2026-2027 season. And the teams are Northampton Town, Port Vale, Rotherham and Exeter. So going up in these games, I'm going to be talking to you about what the stadium's like and if they're good and the times Tranmere's have played them. So going into the first one is Northampton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a picture of their stadium right now. Hello people, so talking about Northampton. Obviously Northampton is a team that are in League 2 for us next season. Talking about that, their capacity is 8,203. I've been to their stadium 2 or 3 times. From my opinions on their stadium, I think it's okay. Obviously, it's a little stadium, but I think very good. The times I've been there, I've never seen us win there, but I think we lost there 1-0 and then we lost 3-2. For me, I do remember one of the players that scored for us was Kane Hemmings. I think he scored the penalty and we lost 3-2 in the game. But honestly, we've actually won there before, but it wasn't against them. It wasn't against Northampton because a team called Coventry used to have that stadium because obviously when Coventry weren't playing at their home ground because they had to play in a different ground and they had to play at Northampton Stadium. But for me, going into this, Tranmere won 5-1 against Coventry at their stadium. So that is a good thought one in that. And I think that was in 2014. So going into their players that they've got, obviously from what I've seen, obviously going into the manager is Colin Calderwood. Obviously he's the technical director, but they've not got a manager at this moment of time, but their assistant manager is Ian Sampson, so I'm guessing he's going to take over, possibly. But going into their main players that they've got, Sam Hoskins, from what I do know and from what I've seen of him, he's a very good player. I think he's very underrated. I think he's one of the best players that they've got. They've got another player that used to be at I think he used to be at Stevenage. There's another player that used to always score against Tranmere, and that is Elliot List. Their goalie that they have got is, their main one is, he's been there for a good few years, is Lee Birch, and he used to be at Sunderland. I do remember him because he was a very good keeper, but it's going to be very different for next year for them because they're going to be in League 2. So their stadium is decent from what I've seen, but hopefully we can actually get a result there going into next season for Tranmere. So hopefully that will happen and we can get a win. So come on, you Whites, let's go. And that is news for Northampton. Going to the next one is Port Vale. Hello people, so going into Port Vale. Port Vale have a stadium called Vale Park, which I've been there once or twice. I thought it was a very decent ground, but I've never seen us win there because that time I've seen 2 0-0 draws, which was not great. It was just not great. It was a bit boring in the game. I thought the first one was very boring, obviously because I was actually in the stand with the away fans. But the second time I went, I thought it was like 2 seasons ago. I was in the wheelchair end, and I thought the wheelchair end was 10 times better than sitting with the fans, because obviously the view was just fantastic and it was a great view, and I thought it was very good. And also, Port Vale have got a song, and they've got Triple H's song, The King of Kings, which I think was pretty awesome to see at Port Vale. But honestly, my thoughts on that. Honestly, on the stadium, I thought it was very good. Obviously, it's 16,800 fans, which I think is very good. Obviously, for a big stadium of them. And also, their manager is John Brady, who used to be at Northampton a few years ago, which I do think he is. I think he's an okay manager from what I've seen. So I'm going to say some of the players that they have got. So, going into this, wait, why, no, wait, some players, obviously they've lost a lot of players because obviously they've left the club. So, let's see, going into this, why am I doing that? Oh my god. I should not be doing that, but Port Vale teams, squad. Right, let's go into the squad. Obviously, for the squad that they've got, obviously they had Marco Morosi, but now he could be leaving because he's out of contract, and he could become Tremorosi anytime soon, but you never know. At the moment, they've got, I think they've got Joe Gauchi, never heard of him. Obviously, they've got Connor Hall. I think Sam Hart's left. From what I remember, they've got George Byers, decent player. They've got Jaden Stockley that used to be at Exeter, and also Louis Patton. I think Patton's a decent striker. They did have Andre Gray, who I didn't think was that good, because he wasn't that great at Watford when Tremorosi did play him a few seasons ago. So my thoughts on Port Vale are just mediocre. So, but being realistic, do I think Port Vale will go straight back up? At this moment in time, I think they will just about get the playoffs, and obviously with Northampton, I think they could possibly go up, because they've actually got a decent team from what I've seen, but you never say never in football. So we'll just have to see what happens, even though depending what manager they do have. So going into the next one is going to be Rotherham. Going to be doing Rotherham now. So going into the next one, and that is Rotherham. Rotherham were in League 1 last season, now they are in League 2. Rotherham are a football team that are in Yorkshire, but honestly my thoughts, I think they're going to have a big year for going into League 2 for this year, because I think they're one of the teams that could possibly go straight back up to League 1. But my thoughts and my opinions on this, I think the New York Stadium in Rotherham, I think it's a very good stadium. Obviously, I've been there once when we drew 1-1 with the goal from Stephen Payne in the last minute, 95th minute to get a draw, which I thought was unbelievable. But my thoughts on the game, it was okay, but for me, going into their fans, I think their fans are okay, but Obviously, just my thoughts on that. But let's have a look from what they're like. Let's have a look. Obviously, they've got a manager called Lee Clark that used to be at Huddersfield, and I've actually seen Huddersfield play Tranmere before, which I think they're okay. Obviously, they've got some decent players from one noticed. They've got a goalie called Cameron Dawson, Joe Rafferty, Zach Jules, Reece James used to be at Man United, Denzel Hall, never heard of him, Brandon Cover, never heard of him, but yeah. Over in the midfield, there were Liam Kelly, Joe Powell, Jamal Baptiste, Drew Yearwood, Sean McWilliams. I think he was at Northampton last season, I think, or season before. Hamish Douglas, never heard of him. James Clark, don't know who he is. Ken Richardson, he looks about 16 in the picture. Another one is Dan Gore, on loan from Man United. I think he's back at Man United now because obviously he was only on loan. But yeah, another one is Jordan Hugill that used to be at Tranmere a few seasons ago. I thought he was awful for us when he was there. Sam Nombre, decent player. Duncan Watmore used to be at Sunderland. Josh Coyote is okay. Harry Gray, I think he's related to Archie Gray, possibly his brother. Another player that is on loan from Man United is Gabriel Biccherini. I can't say his name. Biccherini, never heard of him, but I have heard of him, but I can't say his name because it's weird. And also they've got Reece Wilson. So honestly, that was just my thoughts on it. Obviously for their team, I'm not too sure on how he said the players' names in some of them, but yeah. But that's just my thoughts on Rotherham. My thoughts on Rotherham, do I think they will go up? I think they are a possibility that they could go up for next season. So going into the last one is Exeter City. Hello people, so going into the last one, and that is Exeter City. Exeter City are a team that are in Devon. My thoughts on this, I've been their stadium twice, and the thing is, I've seen us win there twice. With that being said, with a 1-0 win. One of them was a goal from, I can't remember his name, but we won 1-0 a few years ago. And then the last one was when we won 1-0, was with Elliot Nevitt with the goal. And we won 1-0. Their manager is Matt Taylor, who has been there for a few months. Honestly, I think he's been there, but with another team. I think he was with another team, but I can't remember which one it was. But for me, from what I think he's an average manager from what I've seen. But for me, this is going to be very difficult from where I'm going to put them. Do I think they could go straight back up? I don't think they will go straight back up, but I think they will stay in League 2 for another season after this one coming up. But this is just my opinion. The goalie they've got is Jack Bycroft. They've got Ed Turns, never heard of him. They've got Liam Oakes, Reece Colley, Pedro Borges, never heard of him. Charlie Cummings, Jaden Wareham, I've heard of him, but I can't remember where. Sonny Cox, Kieran Wilson, And yeah, that's most of their team, because I think all the other players have left the club, which I do think. And also they've got a Charlie Cummins. So that was just my opinion on Exeter. From what I've been there, it's an okay ground, but it's a bit of a trek to get there, because it's about 6 hours to get there. But for me, my thoughts and my opinions, I think it's a mediocre stadium, and I've been to their stadium, St James's Park, and there's another team called St James's Park, and that is Newcastle United. So, thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe video. See you guys into the next video. Goodbye.
Everybody like and subscribe to Alex's channel.
Thank you. Cheers.